are my bookcases. And if you've seen any of my videos, you've probably seen this in the background. It is one of my favorite parts of my house, but it is also a mess. Hello, my name is Nina. Welcome to my channel. I moved into this apartment about 6 months ago, and when I moved all my books, I just thought, okay, let's get them into my bookcases and I'll sort them out later. Well, now is later. So in today's video, I am going to reorganize my bookshelves. I see my book collection as a reflection of my life. I never get rid of books that I've read, even if I hated them, because for me they resemble a certain time or a state of mind that I was in when I was reading these books. I still have a bunch of books from when I was a young child, from like 10 years old to young adult when I was reading these like very typical young adult books, to now, and the books that I am currently reading. And for me, it is just so special to have all of these books still on display and look at all these different versions of myself. Even if these are books that I would not currently buy or read, they still resemble a part of me, and I love keeping them. Okay, it is the next day. I have sorted all of my books into piles. I love sorting my books by genre. I feel like there's a lot of books that kind of could fit multiple genres, but I just went off of vibes. I'm going to start with putting my non-fiction books in my bookcase, and for some reason my non-fiction books always go on the top shelves. I don't know why, that just makes sense to me, so I am going to start with that. I think next up I want to do poetry here, and then these two shelves I think I want to do my TBR, but I'm going to start with poetry and see how much space that takes up. If you wonder why I have so many versions of these books, these are all books that I am in. This is a queer poetry collection that contains some of my poems. There she is, that's my name. This is a poetry collection that I helped create with the poetry collective I was part of back then. This is me, this is what I looked like in 2020. And then these are my graduation work that I made for the art school that I went to. I made this in 2021, and it's supposed to be like a art workbook for kids. So there's a bunch of different art assignments and art history interesting facts in here to help kids get into art. Like I said, I keep most of the books that I've read even though I don't enjoy them, and that also means that I take great effort to read all the books in my collection. I always keep my physical TBR separate from the rest of the books, so I know exactly what books I haven't read yet, so most of the books that are not on this shelf, I have read. I really try to not have a really big physical TBR and to keep it contained in one shelf, so I know that all the books that I own are books that I've read. I decided to color coordinate these 3 next shelves. So I separated all of the books by color, and I'm now going to make a little rainbow. So this is what it's currently looking like. I really like this shelf. I have noticed that I usually like the shelves the most when it's just setting up books and not like having them lay down. I don't know what to do with that shelf yet, but I think because this is all like new adult-ish books slash adult books, I am going to add a row of young adult under this. I should have 2 copies of this book, but I don't know where the other one is. The only reason I have 2 copies of that book is because it was my favorite book when I was a teenager, and I lost it at some point, and I couldn't live with the idea that I didn't own that book. So I bought another copy, and then I found the first copy I had. So now I have 2. But I think that just goes to show how much I absolutely loved All the Right Places when I was like 15. Okay, current update. I think I want to switch my poetry books to that shelf and then do fantasy books and maybe the few classics I have over there. This is also the point where I'm like, wait, my shelves were full and now they look really empty and I don't have that many books left to put in there. So like, where did all my books go? But we'll see. Okay, I've taken a little dinner break and this is the current situation. I added 2 rows of like old books that I used to love as a child, like really old books. Like for example, this series is like I read when I was 10, I think. And I've also added some books here that I wouldn't buy currently for obvious reasons, but they are still part of my collection and I still wanted to put them in my bookcase. I am just a little bit unsure about how to proceed because I think the gaps here are small enough that I can fill them with like plants and other stuff. This shelf, I don't know what to do with because I still have a lot of notebooks over there and then switch those books to here. I put my fantasy books over there along with my classics, which is a little bit of a weird combination. Like the shelves all the way on the bottom, I'm going to leave empty, but I already knew that I wasn't going to be able to fill those up with the books that I currently own. But like I said, I am planning on still buying books, so it's nice to have some space to grow. I am now going to add my plants and I also want to add some of my homemade ceramics so I can fill up some of the empty spaces. Okay, I think we're done. I always find it very hard to know when to stop, and realistically I will switch out things on these shelves for like weeks to come. But for now, I think I'm pretty happy with it. If you'll stick with me, I have non-fiction on top and then a shelf for all of my boyfriend's books. Under that I have poetry, next to that is my physical TBR, and then here is fantasy books and classics. Then down here, this shelf is fully like, I don't know what to call that category. I think it's just like general fiction, but I've also added romance to it. And then right here is all of my young adult books, and then under there is books I used to enjoy when I was a kid, or like before I was a young adult, so I guess until like 15. So yeah, this is gonna be my background for my videos from now on. I am so glad I did this. So this video was a journey. I hope you enjoyed watching. If you did, please like and comment. You can subscribe as well if you would want to, and I will hopefully see you next week. Bye!